Whenabouts did you get on the Entrepreneurship Advisory Board? Or you're a member of the Entrepreneurship Advisory Board? Is that recent or was that back then?
That's recent. So it's almost coming up to a year now. It's the first Entrepreneurship Advisory Board. We put together the Office of the Chief Entrepreneur here about a year ago. And we've been tackling those challenges head on, right? Trying to change the culture, trying to bring the ecosystem together to have everyone working together. And, you know, if you talk about cybersecurity as just one slice of the innovation pie, lots of organisations in Australia have had cybersecurity projects, plans and things that they want to do because they realise cyber is important. But the problem is everyone's been working in silos. So what we're doing we're actually reinventing the wheel over and over again, and we're doing the same things in complete silos. Whereas if we came together and we brought a more collaborative environment, then we don't need to double up. We can actually support each other and do much more and move the needle forward a lot quicker. And so one of the things I'm very proud of is one of the initiatives that's come out of the Office of the Chief Entrepreneur is the launch of the new Australian Cyber Collaboration Centre. So, as you may have heard, and I know you spoke to Flavia recently, you know, we have been really kind of landing some big wins here in Adelaide, particularly at Lot 14. You know, the Australian Space Agency is a big announcement. Well, the next one is going to be in July. We'll be opening the doors officially for the Australian Cyber Collaboration Centre. And that has funding from state government and federal government and a whole bunch of, you know, big global corporations that are getting behind that collaboration initiative to actually break down those silos and start working together to solve problems of national security interest. Very, very exciting.
So that, to me, the internet, and call it whatever you want, obviously it's brought the economy to, or the world, the global economy together, or the global connection together. There's a saying I can't quite recall off the top of my head, but the reality is that's actually what you're saying you need in cybersecurity, is to actually collaborate together, which is what you're doing and you're starting to do. And I think obviously we're both pretty proud South Australian people, and it's really good to see that something's actually happening here, which gives us that opportunity to be on the forefront. And call it luck, it's exactly what you're doing, but it wasn't all that easy because as a mate, you were a good friend for a while and then you took off.
I didn't stop being your mate, just for the record.
But then you left, and because of what the business you were in, you had to go to Silicon Valley, and you had to present the dream, no different than tens of thousands of other businesses in Silicon Valley. How did you find that experience as a young, 20-year-old kid going over there, just starting your own business? I mean, that would have been quite daunting.
Yeah, it was. Look, not being the sharpest tool in the shed, I took the longest journey to Silicon Valley that you can possibly imagine, right? So as a young entrepreneur trying to make it in the business world, it's always about the cash, right? Yeah. And it's always about, how am I going to make the next paycheck? That's the startup world. Everyone that's ever done a startup before of any shape or size, they know that's the initial beginning of the journey. And by the way, even when you're grown up, you're still always, continually raising capital to grow the business more and more and more. But look, at the beginning, it was particularly tough. And, when I raised my first little bit of funding, professional funding, of 450,000 Aussie dollars, my competitors in the US were raising 20 million US, right? So you know what that does. Like, it puts them on steroids instantly. Yeah. It takes us completely out of the game. And especially when you don't have, customers that are actually, not necessarily even buying and paying customers, but customers that are actually trying and testing your technology and providing the feedback about, you're heading in the right direction, but these are the things that you need to work on. That is the most valuable thing for a startup. And we just got knocked back by everyone here in Australia, and that forced us to go overseas. So we first went to Malaysia, which is where we raised our first, VC money from a big bank over there. We then ended up having to go to London, and that's where we really grew the business, is where we really kind of started hitting it out of the park.
That's right. You went to London first, then you went to Silicon Valley after that. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.